In today's video, we're going to be taking a broad look at one of Minecraft's largest sub-communities, the Redstoners. These talented individuals make all kinds of impressive contraptions like super efficient farms, tiny or extremely fast piston doors, flying machines, computers, minigames, and tons of other things. However, sometimes these Redstoners don't get the credit they deserve, and their creations get miscredited, clickbaited, and stolen. And worst of all, these YouTubers do it all on purpose to gain views and subscribers. This is the sketchy and weird world of fake Redstoners. To start this discussion, I would like to bring up a video made by Exumavoid on his Exumasays channel titled "Should Copyright Laws Affect Minecraft?" The video starts off by him talking about a copyright case that happened between two YouTubers, Jaracraft and Megamusin, where allegedly Magma stole one of Jaracraft's builds block for block and gave absolutely no credit to Jaracraft in the video or the description. I won't be going into details about this case since it's mostly speculation and I can't really get any perspectives from Magma or Jaracraft or find the video where Magma actually copied Jaracraft. Exuma later goes on in the video mostly siding with the idea that legal action shouldn't really be taken with Minecraft builds/videos, which I agree with, but then brings up an interesting point that I don't 100% follow.
I've seen stuff that I've done like Bed Wars is a great example, right? I came up with Bed Wars based on a concept I saw in another PvP match game, and I sort of liked this idea and thought, what if we use the bed this way, and came up with the Bed Wars concept. Then it went on loads of servers everywhere, and hardly any of them credited me, and it's because it just becomes part of the fabric of Minecraft, you know? The idea outlives the person that creates it.
He mentions how he is the one who came up with the concept of Bed Wars and explains how rarely anyone knows that he's the one who thought of it. But this is where some could easily draw the line on an idea versus a finalized creation. There's one example that exists in the piston door community, that being the cave door. The idea of the cave door was originally created by Sacred Redstone, but that doesn't mean he deserves credit for every single cave door that has been made. He only came up with the concept, the shape, the actual definition of what a cave door should be. Other cave door designs have their own original circuitry made by the person who made the door, therefore making it their design, their finished creation. Now let me show you an example of one of the most miscredited and stolen doors due to how popular it has become, the 63 block 3x3 piston door created by Jeffrey Zhu. On November 16th, 2016, Jeffrey uploaded a video on his extremely small door, which at the time was the smallest 3x3 piston door. Fast forward almost a year later, and Twitter user xArkhamLife makes a short video on Jeffrey Zhu's 3x3, not only giving him no credit, but claiming the door as his own. Just 2 days later, Mumbo makes a video on the 3x3, but gives the credit to Arkham instead of Jeffrey.
This was sent to me by xArkhamLife.
He later corrects himself in the description of the video, but at this point the damage has been done, and due to the popularity of Mumbo's video, the door kept spreading all over YouTube, and the amount of people discrediting the door kept going up. Now that you have a rough idea on what we're going to be talking about, let's talk about some specific YouTubers who are notorious for these actions. Let's start with one of the most infamous fake Redstoners on YouTube, Skippy6 Gaming. Starting his channel on April 28, 2014, Skippy made a lot of tutorials for the PS4 Legacy console version of Minecraft. Some were about glitches, other were on piston doors or farms. When the Legacy console got discontinued, he moved on to the Bedrock edition and started making tutorials there. However, here's the thing, Skippy isn't the brightest. In every single video tutorial or showcase he has made, the design can be traced back to a different person who is much more knowledgeable with Redstone and is more likely to have come up with that design. He is also a massive clickbaiter. I mean, just look at his titles and thumbnails. The titles are truly a dead giveaway to how little Skippy actually knows about Redstone. Take this video from 2017 on a 3x3 piston door, which I instantly recognize as one of TT Lemon's designs. The video was made on the Legacy console version, meaning it had the Java system when it came to Redstone. But in the title he puts MCPE, which if you are a little competent with Redstone, you should know that Bedrock and Java Redstone work entirely differently, and it is rare to find something that will work on both versions. This is just one example of clickbaiting a Redstone build that won't even work on a certain version of Minecraft, but there are far too many examples examples to go over in this video. But he doesn't just clickbait Minecraft versions in his videos, he also clickbaits Redstone terminology. Take this quote-unquote expandable hipster door video for example, which as expected isn't even his design and didn't even mention the original creator BKMCPE in the video. All he did was leave a link in the description. Anyway, he makes a tutorial on an expandable hipster door, but the door can only be a 2x1 and can't be expanded any larger. Even people in the comments that aren't randomly saying that Skippy is the best are asking how this door is expandable in their many different ways of spelling expandable. There are many other questionable things Skippy has done on his channel, but I think it's best that we move on to someone else. Now let's just take what we learned about Skippy and crank it up to 200%. You thought Skippy was clickbaity and dramatic, well this is 10 times worse. Subsworld is a second channel to the gaming channel Sub and was created on August 2nd, 2017. This channel is your average clickbaity Minecraft tips and tricks channel with misleading thumbnails and exaggerated presentation. The reason I included this channel is more of a personal annoyance rather than anything objectively bad, but I'll share my points anyway. My first problem being the structure of the videos themselves. Not all the videos are about the same topics, but they all have similar structure, which is briefly showcase multiple creations in one video with little to no explanation on how to make them, and make the presentation as obnoxious and eye-catching as possible to increase watch time. But how does this relate to stealing Redstone though? It might not be as obvious as Skippy's channel, but all of these videos depend on the Redstone community to make creations and publish them. Then for Sub to take those and sensationalize and clickbait them. And worst of all, there are no credits to any build in any video. Actually, this is weird, future crafty masterman. Turns out they do credit someone. They credit Entity Builds. I find it kind of funny that someone's hiring a build team to make super basic things that you could look up on YouTube. I don't know, that seems like a bit too much. There are many other smaller channels that do similar things, which is taking extremely easy redstone builds that, to be honest, don't require tutorials, and play them up to death. Like I said, this channel isn't objectively bad in any way. Most people will probably just find it annoying and leave it be. The last channel we're going to be looking at though today is probably one that you won't expect, but once I tell you the things that they've done, you might see them in a completely different way. Before I start my take on Silent, I just want to let you all know that I won't be taking sides on this argument, but I still will present the evidence against him given to me by other technical Bedrock players who remain anonymous for this video. If you don't know who Silent Whisperer is, he started his channel on May 22nd, 2016, and originally made videos for the Legacy console edition of Minecraft, though unlike Skippy, his focus was more on farms and technical builds for survival, rather than glitches and piston doors. When the console edition got discontinued, he moved over to the Bedrock edition and continued to make tutorials on various farms, and also became a member of the Truly Bedrock SMP. However, Silent has a history of stealing others' farms, lying about item rates, and silencing other people who may give him criticism. No pun intended, I really hated that. Now let's go over some specific cases. On November 10th, 2019, Silent uploaded a video on a Bedrock zero-tick sugarcane farm and almost immediately got called out on the TechRock Discord server. A member argued that Silent should have credited Bilibili user Panda4994. This isn't the same Panda that now works for Mojang, this is just a Bilibili user with the same name. If you compare both farms in both videos, they are almost identical, but Silent still refused to give credit, claiming that his farm just used the base mechanic and makes the logical farm that should be built. But then tries to defend himself by saying that mentioning someone every time you use a mechanic/bug was going to get messy. But nobody bought it, and other TechRock members agreed that Silent should have credited Panda. Around a month later, Silent starts to lose respect on the TechRock server and eventually gets his trusted rank removed. On April 10th, 2020, Silent makes a video on an obsidian farm and someone shares it on the TechRock server, memeing it saying that they've seen it before. The farm is very similar to a design by Kenneth Du using the exact same game mechanics to farm the obsidian. But again, Silent gave no credit in the video or description and instead pinned a comment of him saying how it took him hours to design and test the farm. People then started commenting "Thanks Ken" as a joke since the obsidian farm is very similar to Ken's design. Silent then defends himself saying that the farms are only mildly similar to each other and says that everyone on the server is overreacting. A member then responded saying that Silent, being the massive channel that he is, represents the Bedrock tech community in some way, and argues that Silent is shining a bad light on it by invalidating the hundreds of hours that Ken put into the original farm. Silent then goes on, deflecting the points brought up by other members and still refuses to give credit. He makes contradicting points, saying that he didn't even need help and that he never watched Ken's video, but then he also said that Ken's video explained nothing about the farm. Now, how would you know that it explained nothing if you didn't watch the video? Also, there's a world download on the video, Silent. Come on, you could have downloaded that, could you not? The conversation goes on and on, with Silent and other Tech Rock members arguing back and forth, and Silent fighting an uphill battle. The comments referring to Ken's design on Silent's video got deleted, with only one or two still left. After this incident, Silent removes the Tech Rock Discord link from his server, but instead of deleting the entire thing, like a normal person, he crosses it out and says disregard everything said above, which, come on, that's a little bit petty. Whenever Tech Rock is brought up on his server, he tries to change the conversation and usually finishes with something like saying how Tech Rock is toxic and you should never join it. Sometimes he picks on specific Tech Rock members and calls them toxic on his server, trying to paint a bad light on them to his fanbase. There are also some videos where he lies about the rates of his farms, mostly on iron farms. On July 4th, 2020, he made an iron farm claiming it produces 420 nice iron an hour, but the theoretical maximum at the time was only 411 iron an hour. On August 28th, he made a Hoglin farm claiming it can produce 1.4k items an hour, when it could only really produce 400. But we can also give Silent some credit for actually knowing how Redstone works, unlike Skippy and Sub. So those are my 3 cases, but why does this hurt the Redstone community as a whole? I've mentioned this in my Mumbo Rant video, and I still feel the same way right now. The Redstone community still doesn't get the credit they deserve, and these kinds of people that steal, miscredit, and clickbait are part of the problem. And there's still tons of other YouTubers that do similar things that I haven't even mentioned. But what if you yourself are a Redstoner that just got their creation stolen by some big clickbaity YouTuber? Let's go back to that copyright case between Jarecraft and Megmamusin in the beginning of the video. The craziest thing is, you can actually legally copyright claim someone for stealing a Minecraft build to an extent. On the Mojang EULA, which is the End User License Agreement, under the Content section there is a sentence that says this: any content you make available in our game must also be your creation, or you must have the permission or legal right to do it. You must not, and you agree that you will not make any content available using the game that infringes the right of others. But wait, before you go on copyright claiming people for stealing Redstone, you have to know that most of the time this won't really work under fair use, and Mojang probably doesn't even care. Even if someone steals your Redstone build, if they add commentary or anything, or just edit the video in a specific way, they have added something to your original video, it falls under fair use, so you can't really claim them. Even if the video is completely silent, I still don't think a claim should be made. The only time a copyright claim is justified is if the video is just a blatant re-upload with no edit, or some kind of 10-hour loop. Other than that, the best thing to do is probably just to leave a comment on their video, or make a video yourself addressing that someone stole your thing. So what about the YouTubers that steal these creations? The best thing is just credit someone. Credit someone that the Redstone community universally agrees that may have built something similar before you, or discovered a certain exploit you used in a farm/door, and listen to your audience. Don't just censor the hate. If the negativity has a justified cause, do what you can to fix that. Anyway, this has been my video on fake Redstoners. If you liked it, tell me your opinion. All these comments on these rant videos are always fun to read because I like reading these different opinions. And let me know if you want to see more rant videos like this in the future. They take a long time, but they're pretty fun to make. So anyway, this has been the sketchy and weird world of fake Redstoners. Goodbye.